brasstax presentation. Discretion advised.
What's going on, people? It's your boy. Yes, it's your boy. It's brasstax, baby. You already know. You already know. Listen, things are surreal out here. I'm driving past Tesco's. That'll be your Walmart equivalent. Seeing people queue up, doing this whole social distancing thing. You know, 2 meters apart. 2 people can go in at a time. Try that on my girl. Say, listen, we need a social distance. She used her feminine charms, and guess what? Men are too easy. I gave in. Guys, what have you been watching? You been going crazy on Disney Plus? I just finished watching, I binge watched The Tiger King, and let me tell you something, you guys need to watch it. It is the most weirdest shit you'll ever see. Like, it's crazy. It just gets, the more and more you watch it, the crazier it gets, people. I highly recommend it. People are weird. Got a chance to play Modern Warfare 2 Remastered on the PlayStation Pro. Was going to pick it up for the Xbox One X, but god damn, we've got to wait till the 31st, and I thought I'd give it a try. You know what's funny when you played remastered games? Firstly, you know, you're so used to the up-to-date visuals, so used to the snappiness of modern-day COD, right? That when you go back and you play Modern Warfare 2, as amazing as that game is, you do realise how much more clunky it feels. Well, to me anyway, that's how it felt. And the visuals look pretty good, but I don't know. I mean, you're comparing it to other remasters they've done, like, for instance, Resident Evil, which just looks amazing. Like, full remasters. And it's just, yeah, okay, it's got a nice visual upgrade, but I've seen better graphics on the same game on PC. You know, and I think we've gone past the whole phase of seeing jaggies. And there were plenty of jaggies on that bitch. Could just be the PlayStation 4 version, but yeah, I mean, it looks great, looks very nice, but it was cool. It just didn't blow me away. I think the first Modern Warfare remaster was a lot better, in my opinion. But there you have it, guys. I'd still pick it up. It's an amazing game. And it's 20 bucks. Can't really go wrong with 20 bucks. So now here we are, the Trilogy. I'm going to review all these 3 collectively and tell you how it compares to the 4K Blu-ray, how 4K Blu-ray compares to digital. I don't know whether it's the same in iTunes US, but iTunes UK, you kind of get the gimped digital versions compared to Disney Plus, right? So you'll get HD, I think you get HD maybe with HDR, but no Atmos, none of that shit. The best digital versions are going to be on Disney Plus. You know, as much hate as I give the new trilogy, the latest trilogy, right, as the disjointed mess it is, there were some inconsistencies in the original trilogy as well. You know, you got Leia as a love interest at the beginning, and then she's his sister, she's Skywalker's sister, then she's a Jedi in this, you know, if you really look at all the movies as a whole, it's quite contradictory in this bitch. In every trilogy, there's always something that pisses you off. In episode 1, 2, and 3, it was Jar Jar Binks. Man, I wanted his head on a stick. Yeah? And also, Anakin was just trash. Yeah, he looked like some emo. Anyway, we'll get to that when I get to that trilogy. But there's always something. But obviously, this is the best trilogy around. You know, so it's undisputed. But yeah, nothing much to say about Star Wars as Star Wars. So many epic moments. Amazing trilogy. Definitely one for the collection. So let's first talk about the Disney Plus 4K versions. Look fantastic. look great. I love that they're the special edition because I think it somewhat updates those movies. Look sharp, razor sharp, the best they have ever looked. The 1080p Blu-rays were rather soft. And I think what this does is, some scenes look a little upscaled across the board, but for the most part, they look razor sharp. In some cases, look like they can stand with any 4K Blu-ray now. Really clean, really detailed close-ups, wrinkles. Darth Vader looks A1. How can you hate that? And Chewbacca, you know I gotta think for Chewbacca. Chewie! Every hair strand, just tons of detail to be had there. When you're watching this, you know you're watching something superior. I set it up on my dad's 4K TV. Played Empire Strikes Back. He's like, this is 4K? Holy shit, man. I'm like, I know, you already know. All three of these episodes have that 4K-age to them. What I really love is the detail on the droids. You see a lot more wear and tear that you're just not going to pick up. Inside the spaceships, the corridors, everything has that lived-in feel. And that's what I think the episodes 1, 2, 3 and 7, 8, 9 are missing. This trilogy specifically always had that gritty feel. You always felt that everything had been lived in. The Millennium Falcon looked gritty. It was a little cracked in places. It was not perfect. The beauty in imperfection across the board is really pronounced here. Even in the woods where Luke Skywalker is training with Yoda and shit, just the detail on the trees, just everything just looks very lived in, and it just feels so much more pronounced on 4K. You're not going to see this on the 1080p. And what 4K does do is give you an extra sense of depth across the board. I'd say Star Wars look good, and they start to look a little better as they go on. So I would say Jedi is probably the best looking of the three. The detail improves throughout the three, along with the high dynamic range as well. The lightsabers look a bit more shinier. The colors pop a little bit more. By the time you get to Return of the Jedi, everything's in full force, so to speak. Bars. Great black levels with zero crush, great shadow detail, HDR is on point there. And you know, when you get the colors, when you get the added color and you get the high dynamic range mixed with 4K, 4K doesn't really shine without HDR. And what that does is when you got extra color, you get extra color depth. Everything looks a lot more three-dimensional. Nuances in the color. Flesh tones look so much better than 1080p. And even the prosthetics and the animatronics used, the puppets, everything used here just shine. You got that extra color, you got extra depth, that extra three-dimensional pop. God, I miss the good old days where we can still use that shit. Because somehow, the visual effects have just gotten worse as the years have gone on. Visual effects in 2020 don't look anywhere near as good as they used to. I don't know what's happening. Now, like I said, the movies look better as they go on, and so does the Atmos. Gives you more atmosphere. I thought the Atmos in episode 4 was a little flat. There wasn't really much going up top. There was more up top in episode 5 and a lot more up top in episode 6. Not reference quality Atmos, but there's a lot more three-dimensional space going on in the last two. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, he's reviewed the 4K digital of these, and there was a reason for that. The reason I did that is because I wanted to really talk about how different the 4K Blu-rays are. So if I talk in depth about the 4K digitals, then you'll get an idea to the physical. And what I will say is exactly the same thing. There are improvements. The improvements get slightly wider as the movies go on. From across the board, what you're noticing is a bit more detail. There is a lot more detail in fast moving scenes with dogfights and a lot of scenes with the Millennium Falcon. There is a bit more detail on the droids. It does fluctuate though. Sometimes scenes can look very similar to the 4K digital, and sometimes a lot more noticeable. And to be honest, especially in Empire and Jedi, I'd say the colors pop a little bit more on the 4K discs. Lightsabers look a little brighter, explosions have a little bit more impact, but you'd be forgiven. If you weren't watching them side by side, you may really not notice that much of a difference, to be honest. You may not, but because I've watched them back to back, I can tell what the differences are. Us as reviewers don't really talk about this, but it does make a difference. The equipment you watch things on make a difference. If you're watching it on an OLED, you may experience different things. If you're watching it on a high-end Blu-ray player, you'll notice different things. If you're watching it on a large screen TV, you're going to see different things. I'm watching this on a 75-inch television. I'm not sitting as far back as a recommended guideline, so I'm pretty close to this bad boy. So for me, things stand out a lot more. If you're watching this on a 65-inch and you're sitting 7 to 9 feet away, the differences may be negligible. Yeah, you may not even notice difference. You may notice slight differences in the color, but in terms of resolution, it may be lost on you. So these are certain things you need to take into account, but from what I can see, the 4K Blu-ray is superior. It's almost like, you know, the 1080p Trilogy is chilling in the alleyway, smoking a joint, minding his own business, and gets tapped on the shoulder by the 4K digital. 4K digital's like, what you smoking, boy? 1080p disc like, ain't none of your business. So the 4K digital proceeds to rip his sleeve off, put his fingers all over the disc, snap the disc, throw the 1080p in the trash, total violation. He picks the joint up off the floor and he has a little but then he hears footsteps. Footsteps coming down the alley, heavy footsteps. This guy's obviously wearing Timberlands. Sees the 4K physical Trilogy, the 4K physical disc. He's thinking, oh shit, there's a big dude right here, I might have some trouble. 4K physical walks up to the digital, says, you know what, give me that joint, get out of here. The 4K digital's looking at him up and down and saying, yeah, I'm gonna stroll out of here in my own time, as he's strolling off immediately. The 4K physical smoking the joint, minding his own business. Zero violation, but he did big bro him. You guys get it right. I'd have got a younger brother. Every year he wants to test me, every year, and every year, you already know. You go sat on the woofer for the digital, but you tell your girl to sit on the woofer and see what happens for the physical. Guess what? She's gonna be surprised, because she is already familiar with the Atmos, but guess what? It seems that on the physical discs, especially Empire and Jedi, the audio feels fuller, it feels more detailed. The overheads are slightly more pronounced in the same places that they were on the digital. There's nothing really stand out or reference about them, but you will appreciate them, especially in the dogfight scenes and the Millennium Falcon scenes for sure. And the lightsaber sounds are just amazing. That shit sounds amazing. Can you imagine what that's gonna do to the bootay? You already know. Better detail, better bass response on the physical overall. It's a better experience. You may have to crank the sound up because you already know it's Dolby Atmos, but when it's up there, you're not really going to notice it. You're still going to appreciate it. It is very good sound for what it is. And there we have it, people. There's my review. I'm going to be honest, so I didn't pick up the Star Wars movies. I borrowed them from a friend. I initially was just going to stick with Disney Plus because I thought, okay, the differences are there, but it's not going to kill me if I don't pick it up, you know. But I will say, after seeing this trilogy specifically, there is more of an improvement. I might just pick up the box set, you know. I might just do it because you kind of want the best quality. And whether it's minimal, I mean, if the quality difference fluctuates disc to disc, but you are going to get the better experience on disc anyway. So I'd say go for the disc. I've kind of changed my stance a little. Episode 4. Visuals 8.2, audio 7.9. 5, I'm gonna give it an 8.3, 8.4, and the audio an 8. And for Jedi, I'm gonna give the visuals an 8.4, and the audio around about an 8.2, 8.3. And if you want the digital score, just knock a point or two off each of those. Alright guys, there's my review. I hope you guys understood what I did here with the way I did this. But yeah, I'd say physical is the way to go for sure. And that's pretty much it, guys. I've got a lot more content coming, giving you this quarantine content, baby. I hope you guys are keeping well in these times. Don't go out. Just let this shit, like, sort itself out, okay? I don't want you guys catching anything. You know, this is crazy. This is madness here. Hopefully this time next year, if not sooner, we'll look back at this and just think 2020 was just a crazy year. Glad it's behind us, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to support the channel, I've got a PayPal me link and I've got a Patreon link. Go right ahead if you want to. If you don't, that's still all good. I appreciate all the support anyway. Yeah, you guys take care. Subscribe if you haven't already. 4K Rockstar, you already know.